Hi, Laura. How are you doing?
Hi, Shimon. I'm well. It's great to talk with you again. Thanks for reaching out. How are
Yeah,
you?
it's been a while since the B2B Marketing Forum. You left us with a lot of inspiration, but also with a lot of question marks. So here are we together today. We have our masterclass about the marketing performance management, and I thought it would be a good idea to have you and to have your thoughts about this topic. So first of all,
Okay.
maybe you can give a short introduction to the people who don't know you, who you are, what you do, what's your passion.
Okay. So I'm Laura Patterson, and I'm the president of VisionEdge Marketing. We just turned 16 years old, and I've been doing marketing and sales since the 70s. That's all I'm going to say. And I've been in financial services, semiconductor, software, um, healthcare. And the folks in our company have very similar backgrounds. We have a very strong focus on B2B marketing. And our passion is to help marketing organizations be able to prove and improve the value of their marketing, to transform into centers of excellence, to be relevant to the C-suite, and to have influence over strategic decisions by using and making using data to make fact-based decisions, and to be credible to the organization. That's really what we're about, and that's our passion.
This is something that people have been speaking about for years already: marketing accountability, marketing ROI, all those nice terms, but it still didn't pick up. What's the reason that now, people are getting more serious about it?
That, so Shimon, it's not easy work. And there are some marketers who are tackling it and some others who aren't. Some are feeling more, pressed to do it. Others are taking the initiative. And it's kind of like this. You go to the doctor and the doctor says, you really should stop smoking if you want to, live longer, see your children grow up, see your grandchildren, so forth and so on. You probably need to lose some weight. You probably need to, exercise more and have healthier eating habits. And some people will walk away from that meeting and they will get serious. And others will start the effort, but they'll just peter out. And then others will say, I'm not really ready to make those kinds of changes. And that's really what marketing performance measurement and management is a lot about. It's about, hey, it's not that it's going to make a difference maybe right at this moment, but it will make a huge difference to you professionally and to your organization, but it will take work. And so there are marketers who embrace the work and see the journey as worthwhile because they're inspired to do it. And then there are others who will start it but peter out because other priorities may come on their plate or it just becomes too difficult. And then there will be those marketers who don't feel compelled. They can't, they don't see it as a sense of urgency. So I think our latest research over the last few years has been able to actually characterize those personas. So we have value creators, those folks who are very dedicated to generating value for the customer and for the organization, and they are really pursuing marketing accountability, marketing measurement, marketing analytics, marketing alignment. They're really all about transforming marketing into a center of excellence. Yep. And then we have our sales enablers. These are the folks who have, drank the Kool-Aid around CRM and marketing automation platforms and see the sales organization as their primary customer, and they're very focused on everything that's around demand gen, and probably many of the words we've all heard around leads and whatnot, right? And then we have still a very large number of B2B marketers that fall into this category of campaign producers. They're really kind of operate as in-house agencies, and they're really about making campaigns, producing campaigns. They might do some A/B testing, they might do some segmentation and targeting, but and they might measure some response rates or some other outputs, maybe even some kind of campaign ROI. But in terms of really being synced up to the business and having business acumen and being thought of as business people first, kind of as opposed to marketers first, that group is really struggling, with
Yeah.
that perception.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but an agency in MPM agency in the UK, they had a quite a big sample of CEOs research, and they asked them, okay, what do you think about your marketing department? And 73% said that they marketing does not have business credibility. Um,
Right.
so I think this is one of the risks we are running into. But let's focus on the positive side. So there are a lot of marketers now who take it seriously, who want to move ahead. Those who are with us today are obviously ones that see the need for a change and would like to do something. Can you tell us from your experience what are the challenges that you see quite often when there is a will to do a change? What are some of the things they come across?
Well, so let's talk about some of the challenges and then how
Yeah,
maybe they address it.
yeah,
So obviously change management and culture are always a challenge whenever you want to do a change, right?
yeah,
How do you socialize the change? How do you get the people on the team to embrace the change? How do you get them to learn new
yeah,
things? Because it's going to require new skills
yeah,
and capabilities, right? How do you get them to adopt new processes, new systems, new tools? Because we're all tend to want to do what we're used to doing. There's comfort in what's familiar.
yeah,
And so that's a big challenge for many organizations. So you have to really think about the change management and the cultural issues. You've got to have a culture that is not afraid to trial things, to experiment, to take a little risk. So if you're in a highly risk averse organization, that may be more difficult to try something new and to have make potential setbacks as you make the effort, because we all know that when we learn something new or try to do something new, there are setbacks occasionally, or where we have to are detours, and so you have to have an organization that and a culture that is open to that.
yeah,
So if you can overcome that part of it, then the very next thing is that thing you talked about, brought up, was the business credibility, the business acumen. So the marketers who are doing well get that they are business people first. And so they think in business terms, they communicate in business terms, and they are very focused on alignment. That's the number one thing. Before you do automation, before you do analytics, and all the other things that you have to do, they have to get aligned. And I don't mean aligned to sales, I mean aligned to the business. And this does not require fancy technology and fancy analytics. It requires just business savviness. And so I think, so again, there's some marketers who've gotten very enamored with marketing technology and they think that that's going to do it for them. But really, you have to kind of do the work. It's like, I'm going to buy, cool workout equipment again. But if you never don't do the work, it doesn't matter how cool the workout equipment is,
yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah,
I think I told you the story about my dad and how much he and I loved to, he was very handy. We used to do, little handy workshop kinds of projects together. I love tools. I love going to the hardware store and looking at tools. And I've never seen a tool that I didn't want to add to my toolkit. I remember my father saying something to me when I saw a power saw, and I was just like, oh, wow, how cool that would be. And I remember him saying something like, until you can really saw well with a handsaw, you want to be careful about getting a power tool, because the only thing that happens with a power tool, if you don't know how to use it well, is that you can do more damage faster.
yeah,
And
exactly.
so I think, yeah, so I think this whole thing about marketing technology is great. We've been seeing, as we all know, an explosion in marketing
Yeah,
technology, but we
exactly.
need to make sure that our organization has the right processes in place
Yeah,
and has the alignment, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the first thing we ask marketeers when you come abroad. What is the role of marketing in the organization? What is the function? What do you need to achieve to the business? So that's
Right. That's a
obviously
great.
needs to be really clear. Um, Looking at implementation of the processes, the framework around marketing performance management, um, what are the three tips you can give marketeer in the process of, do it better or, not falling into the same traps like people who do it the first time? So actually saving them some time in the implementation. Is it?
Okay. Yes, around performance measurement and management. So first thing is alignment. That's the number one thing. It's been, again, we've been doing research now since 2001.
Yeah.
And those marketers who are successful, it's now we have enough data, it's statistically significant that alignment is the number one thing that the marketers who do this well address. And so that means a process change, because you can't really start with activities, the stuff of marketing, until you have the alignment to the business outcomes.
Yeah.
And so that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is to understand the right metrics. There's so many things we can measure.
Exactly.
And it's just, and it's only going to continue to be a huge number of measures out there as we add on new channels, right?
Yeah.
And new, all kinds of new things. So selecting the right metrics, and getting the right metrics in place, and understanding the hierarchy of your metrics, and being clear about which metrics are going to help you make good decisions, and being able then to capture those metrics in some kind of dashboard. You were telling me that you were driving home this afternoon and in traffic, and so you probably were looking at your car's dashboard. And we often say to folks, no, you don't need hundreds of marketing metrics. You need to think what kind of dashboard do you need, like your car, that helps you make decisions. Do I need to put in gas or not, given where I'm going?
Yeah.
Is my speed in line with the speed limit, or am I willing to take the risk for a ticket, given what I need to do, right? These kinds of questions, and so picking the right metrics. So that's the second thing. So the first one's accountability, alignment. The second one is the metrics and the dashboard, which is really related to accountability. And then the third thing is the whole infrastructure, right? Yeah. So yes, you're going to need data and analytics, but you got to have your infrastructure in place, which includes your systems, your processes, your tools. Yeah. So, having a roadmap for that is really important. So those are the three things.
Yeah, exactly. Last question for you, Laura, is that, are you going to surprise us with a new book soon?
So that is a great question, and we've had that question come up.
Yeah, because a lot of things have changed since your last book. Marketing got more modern. The big data came up on us.
Yes.
So it requires some changes, right?
Yes, and we have the approach we've taken in the last few years, because it is a very dynamic environment that we're living in. Yeah. So we've been doing a lot of white papers. So you probably noticed that we have a number of white papers, and there's a consistent theme around our white papers. So we have a white paper on marketing technology and on marketing operations and marketing analytics, and a variety of others of people, and they're free. And it's all around this whole notion of the transformation into a center of excellence. And so I think if we have the privilege of another book, it will probably in some way or another talk about how marketers can exert more influence, gain more credibility, be more relevant, and how a center of excellence facilitates that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, hey, Laura, thank you very much. People will get to know you better, I think, after reading your book, which I think is great.
Thank you.
And looking forward to seeing you in Holland again.
I would like that very much. I love Amsterdam. Great city. And it is such a pleasure to work with you and the Spot on Vision folks. Thank you, Shimon.
Thank you.